Another player to draft, I've gone with probably the number one pick. Seems unanimous now. Willem Duursma, out of Gippsland Power. Also played the big country. More of a utility player, 191 centimeters. So he's not super tall, but he's not also small. Quite an all-round talented player. He's sort of, if you watch some of his highlights, he's gone from 1 minute he's on the forward, then he's mid, then he's wing, then he's half back. So it's quite impressive. Obviously, we know that he'll probably join the AFL rankings with his two. I think it's only two of them playing. I know there was a fourth. I'm not sure. But he's also been touted to be the best out of all four of them. So I believe he'll go to West Coast, but I'm still doing the video just in case in a bizarre world West Coast don't take him and pick one or two, and then it opens up for everybody else who would probably go after him. And I think Richmond would definitely take him if he was to somehow magically slide down to pick 3. So that, I think it'd be Cooper Duff, Tightland and Broby would be the only way possible. Only other players I see West Coast would take. But go by the numbers now. Sort of usual, so we kind of go off his strengths. There's not much on here to improve off the rookie me. So his strengths are aerial ability, athleticism, composure, disposal and effectiveness. I love that. Versatility and vision. That's a lot more, probably the most strengths than most players we've done so far. Trying to do a play every time, but disposal effectiveness, which is a really good one. A lot of young players come in, as we know, get the ball and they kind of spray it. They don't know what they're doing with it, and that's good to see. Versatility, as we know, that would be the whole player. He can pretty much play anywhere, hence the title. He's a utility player. And I love the vision. It means he doesn't break under pressure. Always looks ahead. Somehow seems to know what players are. Similar to what, as I remember, Trent was like. You always wondered how Trent would keep his arms up and then somehow handle the ball and get somebody spot on. Every time I swear that's how Trent did it. So, and then it's just got a little bit of, what do you call it, a little strength sort of report. I'll read it to you guys. This is just me giving off some of the facts that you think. I think he'll go to West Coast to pick 1. I don't think he'll make it to Richmond. But it's all respect for Duursma and what he's done to get himself to being the number 1 player. And we still talk about him, and we give our opinion on why we think he's probably the best player in the draft. It says Duursma is a player with several AFL traits. Much of his upside is obsessed in his athletic profile, a talented junior basketball. He's clean overhead, has a spring leap, similar to his brother Zane, extending to take the ball at the top of its reach. So I love that. When he takes a mark, he can mark it at its highest point. Ground coverage is another area where Duursma thrives. He's a deceptively quick, nimble for 191 centimetre. He'll definitely have to put weight on. I don't think he's ever going to be able to stay that skinny in a way. I think if he could put in with the first 3 or 4 years of his career, he puts on a good 5 to 10 kilos of muscle. I think he'll obviously slow down maybe a little bit, but I think he'll strengthen him up as well. Using his long stride to snatch meters on stepping through traffic. Agile steps, the letter is where he composes the version. So it's quite good, and it says here defensive trades, which is another good one here, particularly when he's playing in his trade in the defence. Duursma is wonderfully poised in positions that tends to make the right decision, even in tight spots. His vision is exceptional. He combines with his athletic gifts with sound skills to challenge the angles going forward. So, and I love that. And I love the fact that he can play defence. I know most players, you don't draft a number 1 pick and make them play defence when they can play midfield. But if you were to say Richmond as an example, if he was to be drafted, is he going to be ahead of Sam Lawler, Smiley, Houghton? You also got Prestia, Hopper, Taranto. Kane McCauliffe is still sitting in the booze, and we know how good he is. So it's definitely a good trait to have, that he can play wing and defence, because he can grow and get used to the AFL system, playing off the half back, and using all of his abilities to do it. And he could do what Nasayan does for Saints. Started off his career as a half-backer, and eventually showed his talent and worked his way into the midfield and become a pretty superstar in the midfield now. So I think Duursma would be a great player to have if you could get him. I just don't think he's going to get to Richmond. But it is never a bad thing to at least scout out every single player, because there are alternate universes where there's a possibility that he slides. So that'll be the end of this video, guys. If you could, please like and subscribe. And in the comments below, please just give out what you guys think of Will Duursma. Do you think he's worth the number one pick or 2 pick? If he slid to Richmond, would you take him? Say if West Coast was to take a Cooper Duff Tyler and say a Southern Roby or a Dyson Sharp, and he made it to Richmond's pick 3, would you take Willem Duursma, or would you proceed to trade that pick away to get a couple of extra picks in this year's draft or future picks? Let me know in the comments below. Stay safe, and as always, go Tigers.